been summoned to jury duty. I'm Bill Campbell, and I gotta go, and I'm getting older. So everything going to court makes me nervous, because when you get older, everything's harder, For instance, as you know, men go to the bathroom more often. That's okay, I'm getting used to this. I'll do it before I go to jury duty. But my wife treats me like a 2-year-old. I ran out. Bill, do you have to use the restroom? No, I think I'm okay. Are you sure? Don't you think you should try? So I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'm going to jury duty.
Welcome, everybody. Episode 13, lucky 13. I won't tell my guest this, but he's right here, so he already knows. Welcome to Jury Duty, where we interview headlining comedians and people in the entertainment business. And we've been doing this all year in my home away from home, Bill Ricker. Bill, his first show was with cavemen and dinosaurs. He really did well.
Right.
And they brought him back. Was it the Comedy Cave?
It was
I'm just kidding.
caveman open mic.
Ladies and gentlemen, legendary comedian from Boston who travels all over the country, Bill Campbell. Good afternoon,
Jerry.
Bill,
Nice
or
to
good
be
evening,
here.
or whatever you want
How
to call
are you?
it. Good. How you doing?
I have been doing this
Since when? Yeah, since
the
when?
late 70s. So that's like...
I was going to say 80.
It's not 50 years, but it's 45.
I was going to say 1980. Boy, good thing I didn't say that. You had to add on those few years.
1980, the Ding Ho closed.
Ding Ho. Did Ding Ho close in 80, or was it around there? Because
it was right around 80.
I snuck in 4 shows there because I had the comedy contest. Go figure. And I finished third. It was no big deal. It was like all amateurs. And they go, oh, somebody goes, you ought to go to the Ding Ho. I go, what's the Ding Ho? Oh, it's in Cambridge. They have comedy shows. And I went there, and long line of comics there. And Lenny Clark was running the show.
Wednesday night was Lenny's night in the Ding Ho.
And Lenny goes, all right, your number is 66. I go,
That's right.
66.
Then Lenny do 40 minutes before he brought you up.
Wow. But 66 goes, that's not bad. You do good. I'll move you up. And
you get
each
to be
time I
30.
did the show, he moved me up. The lowest he had me was 19, so I felt privileged. It was like doing...
Those are wild days.
Those are wild days. And there were big names there just to start.
But the Ding Ho came after the Comedy Connection. The Comedy Connection was the first one, Charles Playhouse. And there was a writer for the Boston Globe named Steve Morse. You know who Steve Morse is?
Yeah, I know the name, yeah.
He was a writer, mainly music, rock and roll, but every now and then he'd do a comedy show, In those days, the Globe had a lot of power. And there was no comedy clubs. This is like late 70s.
Yeah.
And Bill Downs and Paul Barkley started the Comedy Connection on a Wednesday night. And Sean Moore moved to Friday night because he had a little following doing the streets. And so they would open it up, I'm Paul Barkley, I'm Bill Downs, now you've made the Comedy Connection. And then they'd have 7 or 8 acts. And there was like maybe 10, 15 people. Steve Morse came in, did a write-up in the calendar section of the Globe.
I remember the calendar section.
And the next week, line around the corner.
Whoa, that's all it took.
One article.
That's all it took.
Donovan was on that show. You ask any of the old Yes Donovan about it. That article by Steve Morse started the comedy boom. And within a few years, on a Saturday night, there'd be 3 shows at the Comedy Connection.
Yeah, I remember
3
Bill
shows
telling
at
me that.
Nick's. 3 shows at the Ding Ho. This was all Saturday night. 3 shows at the Ding Ho. 3 shows at Play Again Sam's. 3 shows at Stitches.
Oh my.
So I tried to get out of jury duty, so I walked in there with my Trump hat, my t-shirt that says all men are my dungarees that are crotchless. Thought that would get me out of jury duty, but no, they still wanted me. I still had to go. I still had to do it.
Welcome to Jury Duty. My guest, which I'm so happy and excited to have on, is Carrie Louise Carter. She's a mother of 4 boys. Well, is that counting Tom?
Yes, counting Tom. 4 counting Tom.
3 boys, 4 counting her husband, Tom Carter, who's a very unbelievable funny comedian too, is Kerry Louise Carter. Welcome to Jerry Duty. How are you?
Hi. You know, you look like you could have delivered your own Christmas gifts with your beard. But I'm glad to be what am I? I'm the first guest of 2025.
Yes, you are.
Right?
Yeah, you are.
Well, I feel very special.
Tom got cheated. Say, hey, too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad. Well, he could be 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever.
You snooze, you lose. Yeah, he just actually got back from traveling himself. So we're just so busy.
I know. It's not
Busy's good. Busy's good. We're working. Both of us are working for the troops. We're leaving Wednesday to go for 3 weeks to perform for the troops.
And how many stops? How many stops are you doing?
Hawaii, Guam, Korea, and Tokyo, and we got about like a total of 11 shows. So 3 weeks.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Thank you for doing that. That's very admirable.
Yeah.
It's not thank you for your service, but it's pretty close to it because what you're doing is so important to the troops for the morale and stuff like that. And you know, it makes them feel more at home because months ago I had on Butch Bradley and he does the same thing. Are you with any other comedians or is it just the both of you?
Yeah, two other comedians as well. And I get to work with my husband. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's great.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
how
it's
often
fun.
do you get to
It'll be
work
fun.
with Tom? How often do you get to work with him?
Sometimes, not as much. I mean, we want to work together a lot more because we want to do, you know, our comedy team. But we never get a chance to do it because we're so busy headlining across the country in our own right, you know. It's like when we need practice when we could work together to do our comedy team. And we kind of need practice, you know, so we need to be open micers again. And when you're open micers, you know, you need a day job. And our day job is our night job. So it's really hard to give up our paid work, you know, which is comedy, to try to do comedy together. So whenever we work together, we try to save 5 to 10 minutes for us to get on stage together, which is not that much, which is why you don't see us doing comedy together as much as we should. We do have a show called A Couple of Laughs that we do every Wednesday. And we set that up where we can do it when he's on the road or I'm on the road. So it's like this.
So I got this call from an old friend that I've known for since the 1900s, Jerry Caruso, and he wanted me to do this show, Jerry Duty. And I'll tell you the difference between Jerry Duty and jury duty is you can actually get out of jury duty. Jerry Duty, not so much.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Jerry Duty, where it's not really what you think. It's their duty is to talk to me, but you know the drill. It's been almost a year. Our anniversary is in January. We've had some great guests, and without further ado, we have another great guest. And great to have you all in Billerica, the lovely town of Billerica, on Billerica Access Television with director, producer, owner, whatever she is, Nancy Lynn Albertson. So it's a great show, and my guest tonight is Jim McHugh. Hey, Jim.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Good. Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
That's so true. How's things?
Things are good. You know, every day above ground is a good day.
That's what everybody says. Why does everybody say that?
Because it's
You're
better than
younger
the two
than
options.
Me. You're younger than me. You're younger than me. I just turned 69.
Oh.
What do you mean, no? No kidding.
We better hurry up and finish the show.
Telling jokes already at my expense. Why? How old are you?
I'm 63.
63.
Yeah, so you don't even remember that far back.
No. Son of a bitch. I hate this guy already. I'm just kidding. So, you have an illustrious career. How did it all start for you? Were you in the heyday of comedy when you started?
No, I was about 2 years after the heyday, I think.
What year did you start?
I started, before I first, I was watching the David Letterman show, and a guy was on there who had a book, How to Do Stand-Up Comedy, and it was and it was a hardcover book. So he said there's a list of books. So I went. I was just curious and I was living in Connecticut. They had a club, Billy Jack's, in Glastonbury, Connecticut. So I went there, started doing the open mics.
Yeah.
And but I knew even then that all the real comedians were in Boston or New York, and in Connecticut I was like at the halfway point. So I had to figure out which way I was going to go.